Okay, let's try to make x the subject. So in your mind, visualize it as square rooting this massive bubble here. So from here, in your mind, square both sides. So w squared will be, w square it would be w squared. When you square this, it would be x plus a over x minus b. When you square this, it would just be the bubble because, for example, let's look at square root of 9. And then when you square this, what that means is, what is the square root of 9? It is 3. And then square the 3, it would be 3 times 3, which would be 9. So if you look at square root 20, if you look at square root 25 squared, now let's do this first. Square root 25 would be 5, and then square it, it would then become 25. Back to where you were earlier. Look at the 9, back to where you were earlier. So the point is that when you square root something and then you square it, these two are opposites of each other. They in a way, they cancel each other out. So all that's left is what's in the bubble. So from here, you square both sides. What's left is just the bubble. So now you've got 2 layers. 1, 2, get everything onto one layer. So in your mind, visualize it as one bubble divided by another bubble. So in your mind, times both sides by the denominator. So carry this thing down, and then you multiply it by the denominator. So that would be x minus b. And then what's left would be the numerator, x plus a. You see, everything here is on one layer as opposed to 2 layers. So now that everything's on one layer, multiply this out. So, because you're trying to make x the subject, but x is trapped in this bubble. So break up this bubble. So multiply this out. This times this times this. So w squared times x will be w squared x. And then this times this would be w squared b equals x plus a. So now you've got 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're trying to make x a subject. This block here contains x. This block here contains x. Get all the x's on one side and all the rubbish on the other side. So from here, let's add this block to both sides. So that will then become w squared x equals x plus a, and then remember we're adding this block to both sides, so that will then give us this thing here. And then you've got 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're trying to make x a subject, so group all the x's on one side, all the rubbish on the other side. This block here contains x. Let's take away x from both sides. So take this thing down and then take away x equals, then when you take away x from both sides, all that's left on the right hand side will be a plus w squared b. So now all the x's are on one side, all the rubbish are on the other side. X is in common, factor out the x. So that will be w squared minus 1, because this times this will give you this, and then x times 1 is x. Anyway, factorize it. That will then give you this. Let me just carry this thing down. And then you want to get x on its own. So at the moment, you've got one thing times another thing. To get x on its own, in your mind, divide both sides by this bubble. So take this whole thing down and then divide by this bubble here. Divided by this bubble here. And then that would then make, x will then be the subject. Okay?